The Talas 2 shantytown was home to hundreds of people, most of them migrants from the neighboring Comoros Islands. They lived in precarious conditions, with no access to basic services like water, electricity, or sanitation. But on May 22, 2023, their lives changed dramatically. That day, authorities began demolishing their homes as part of Operation Wambushu, a controversial initiative launched by the French government to restore order and security in Mayotte, the country's poorest region. The operation involved deploying hundreds of police officers and gendarmes to clear out illegal settlements and crack down on crime and immigration. The demolition of Talas 2 was not an isolated event. It was one of the first steps in a plan to destroy about 1,000 substandard homes on the island, affecting thousands of people. The authorities claimed that they were offering alternative housing to the evicted families, but many of them said they had nowhere to go. Some residents resisted the demolition and tried to salvage their belongings from the rubble. Others protested peacefully or expressed their sadness and anger at losing their homes. Some even fainted or had to be taken to hospital due to the emotional shock. The demolition of Talas 2 also sparked tensions with the Comoros, where most of the migrants came from. The Comorian government denounced the operation as a violation of human rights and a breach of international law. They accused France of treating their citizens as second class and ignoring their historical and cultural ties with Mayotte. The situation in Mayotte is complex and delicate. On one hand, the island faces serious challenges such as poverty, unemployment, overcrowding, and insecurity. On the other hand, it has a diverse and rich population that deserves respect and dignity. The demolition of Talas 2 shantytown raises many questions about how to balance these issues and find a sustainable solution for the future of Mayotte and its people. The operation to demolish the shantytown on Mayotte has been met with mixed reactions from different groups and individuals. Some have welcomed it as a necessary step to restore order and security on the island, while others have condemned it as a violation of human rights and dignity. On one hand, some local elected officials and residents have supported the operation, saying that it will help curb illegal migration and improve living conditions on Mayotte. They argue that the shantytown is a source of crime, violence, disease, and environmental degradation, and that its inhabitants are mostly undocumented migrants from the nearby Comoros Islands who do not contribute to the economy or society of Mayotte. On the other hand, some associations and activists have denounced the operation as a brutal and inhumane measure that disregards the rights and needs of the people living in the shantytown. They claim that the operation is motivated by racism, xenophobia, and political interests, and that it will only worsen the humanitarian situation on Mayotte. They also point out that many of the residents of the shantytown are women, children, and vulnerable people who have fled poverty, violence, and instability in their countries of origin. The operation has also faced legal challenges, protests, and clashes between youths and security forces. Some residents of the shantytown have resisted the eviction by barricading themselves in their homes or setting fire to their belongings. Some have also filed lawsuits to stop or delay the demolition, arguing that they have a right to housing and due process. Some protests have turned violent, with stones, bottles, and Molotov cocktails thrown at the police and gendarmes who are overseeing the operation. The security forces have responded with tear gas, rubber bullets, and water cannons. The operation is expected to last for several days or weeks, depending on the level of resistance and legal obstacles. The authorities have said that they will provide alternative accommodation and social support for some of the evicted residents, but many of them fear that they will end up homeless or deported. The future of Mayotte remains uncertain, as tensions continue to rise between different communities and factions on the island.